Hello everyone, I am back finally after several months to do another reading of the Danish Slaughterhouse. This time it's chapter 3. And also for anyone wondering why I haven't been doing readings of my old Hetalia fanfiction, I've been kind of like putting it off, at least until I can find printed versions, because I know I have printed versions somewhere. I just need to figure out where they are. But yeah, with that out of the way, I'm going to be reading chapter 3 of the Danish Slaughterhouse. So let's get started.
Emil then pressed himself against Lucas's body, burying his face into Lucas's shoulder and tightening his arms around Lucas's hips. Normally this exchange of affection would have been strange, albeit welcomed to Lucas, who couldn't even get the younger boy to call him Big Brother as often as he would like, let alone get a hug from him, but under the circumstances they were in, it was completely understandable. Lucas returned the embrace, stroking the Emil's okay. I'm gonna pretend that doesn't exist. Silvery locks as Emil's body quivered with sobs. Lucas slowly stirred within the soft folds of his sheets, nestling deeper inside the warm softness as he begged his tired mind to return to sleep. He was suffering from a pounding headache. No, a hellish hangover after a night of drunk foolishness. After Tino served everyone dinner, Matthias thought that the appropriate amount of wine they had while they ate didn't have enough alcohol for their bodies, and he disappeared into the wine cellar with a sly smirk. After leaving his guests to wait impatiently for a half an hour, he reemerged with a big wooden crate over his shoulder. In the crate were so many different types of liquor. Beer, of course, vodka, rum, more wine, champagne, wine coolers, schnapps of many flavors, even more wine, whiskey, almost everything one could find in the shelves of the most expensive bars. The guests looked at the crates uneasily because they knew that it would turn out to be a bad idea, especially since it was Matthias' idea. Yet as guests, they were compelled to keep their mouths shut, and since Tino was the type to not show this courtesy to the host, he was the first to pop open a bottle of whiskey and serve it to the adults. It went downhill from there, with everyone swearing and passing out innuendos as if the younger nations weren't right there getting their innocence ripped to the shred. Tino taking his shirt off and whipping it around his head wildly. Beryl slamming Tino against the dining room table and making out with him after seeing that little dance. And Matthias attempting to break wine and beer bottles over Emil's head. Even Lucas joined in on the fun as he tried to use Matthias as a strip pole and ground his body against him, slowly and sloppily taking off one article of clothing at a time. Someone started to play music, and that prompted a wild dance party, so wild that Lucas climbed on Matthias, sat on his shoulders, and then slipped off. He fell headfirst to the hardwood floor, and the impact cleared his mind enough to help him realize that he was going insane and lewd. Too lewd. Wow, okay. When he recovered from the blow, Lucas retired to his room and slumped into his bed, ready to fall asleep. Sleep didn't come, though, because a few minutes after Lucas left, Beryl followed Lucas upstairs with a giggly and sensually suggestive Tino in his arms, and the deliciously horrid sounds they made in the next room pulled Lucas out of his needed coma. Oh, jeez. Matthias was no help to the sleep-deprived nation either when he crept into Lucas's room, inspired by the honeymoon couple's affection displayed to give Lucas a special gift growing and hardening in his pants. Oh, yay. Lucas flopped onto his stomach and pressed his face into the pillow in a half attempt to suffocate himself. Don't think about it, don't think about it, don't think about it, Lucas chanted mentally. It didn't happen if you don't think about it. Lucas heard the sheets shuffle next to him as the mattress's springs creaked. He turned his head slightly to free one eye from the pillow and glanced into the smug yet sleepy stare of his worst nightmare. He buried his entire face into the pillow. Oh, no, he moaned. Don't think about it, don't think about it, don't think about it, don't think about it, don't think about it. You weren't saying that all night, Matthias purred. He scooted closer to Lucas's nude body and draped an arm over his back. Morning, Norge, he whispered into Lucas's ear. That was because I was too drunk out of my mind to protect my virginity or to properly cast a curse on you, Lucas grumbled into his pillow. I'm not going to comment on the whole idea of nations being virgins in modern day. I'm in too much of a hurry to get this done. And good morning to you, too. Matthew sniggered as he kissed Lucas's shoulder. I still can't believe that I was able to get you into bed just after one dinner. Did you not just hear me? Lucas shot back, propping himself on his elbows to properly glare at Matthias. He ignored the intense throbbing in his skull. I was drunk, and you took advantage of that. You fucking... Ugh. Matthias reeled back his arm. Jeez, would it kill you to be a little grateful for last night?
Lucas scoffed. Yes, let me count my many blessings. Where should we start? Oh, I know. I'm so grateful that I got drunk out of my wit, right, and made a fool of myself in front of my little brother. I'm so happy that not only did I crash on my freaking head and almost gave myself a concussion, but that I stayed up all night to the grunts and moans of Scandinavian Geographic and couldn't get an ounce of proper sleep. I'm absolutely ecstatic that my body was used for your sexual pleasure, and that you probably scarred my baby brother with whatever noises we were probably making, and the nightmare was just the delicious icing on the beautiful damn cake. Nightmare? Matthias propped himself up backwards on his elbows. Yeah, I don't remember much, but I do remember this one part where Emil started to hug me tightly. That's a nightmare to you? I'd have thought that you would like something like that from Emil with your big brother fetish. It is not a fucking fetish. Lucas snarled through his teeth. I just want him to show me the respect and love that brothers should. He sighed and shook his head tiredly. Plus, in my dream, Emil was crying, like, really hard. I mean, he was just weeping and shaking madly like something really terrified him. What happened? Did something try to hurt him? Matthias, I just said that I don't remember what happened in my dream. Please learn to listen better. I'm sorry, kitten. Did you say something? Matthias said as he looked at his nails nonchalantly. He smirked when he noticed Lucas rolling his eyes in his peripheral vision. You're so stupid, Lucas complained. But I do kind of feel that something did happen in my dream that scared him. In fact, it felt like we were both in this perilous situation. We were both scared. But I just can't remember what it was we were scared of. Wow, that really does sound weird, Matthias remarked. Still got you messed up? I just woke up from the dream, Matthias. Of course it still got me shaken up. Oh, well, how about we chase those big bad dreams away, eh? I know this really awesome thing we could do. Damn it, Matthias. Didn't that libido of yours burn out all last night? Sheesh, such a pig. Hey, Matthias exclaimed indignantly. First of all, it's a proven fact that a healthy couple makes love to each other at least 4 times a day. You just made that up. Second, I wasn't even talking about that. I came up with the idea for what we could all do today while I watched you sleep last night. You watched me sleep? Crap, Matthias, how creepy can you get? Lucas grimaced as a dark, even like Yvonne, like Lear, like you all know I can't English. Lear crept on Matthias' face before it disappeared. Very creepy, apparently. Yeah, I watch you sleep, and it's kind of fun too. You're just so sweet while you're out cold, especially when you have sweet dreams. And you get all smiley and blushy and try to cuddle up with the warmest living thing next to you. Lucas gave Matthias' arm a sharp pinch. Okay, enough of that. What is this big idea of yours? It's simple, really. I thought that maybe we could have a race. A race? Yeah, it'll be cool. It'll be a cool bonding thing for us. It'll be like the old times whenever we didn't have 8 countries to pillage and we were bored out of our minds. I wonder if Barry is still faster than you are. A race? Matthias, this isn't a resort, so please don't make up these weird retirement home party cruise activities. And do you honestly believe that racing against each other would be a good idea after our binge drinking most of us are still trying to recover from? But it's male bonding with my Nordic bros, Matthias whined, poking his bottom lip out and widening his eyes to sway Lucas. Lucas didn't fall for it. Matthias, please. I don't think I can even get out of bed, let alone go for a foot race. Besides, where are we going to have this race? In the forest? When Matthias didn't answer, Lucas shook his head and moved his arms from under his body so that his torso fell back onto the bed again. I'm not going to run around in some cold, wet forest. He yawned and buried his face into the pillows again. For a few moments, Matthias watched Lucas, feeling disappointed that Lucas wouldn't agree to the idea. He then noticed how Lucas' pale skin seemed to illuminate like white gold in the sun's radiance, and how delicate and smooth the grooves and lines of his back were. You know, maybe we could stay in bed for a little while longer, Matthias said in a dazed tone as his eyes lingered on Lucas's body. I mean, that long trip yesterday probably tired you out and all. Yeah, it did. Thanks. Hey! Lucas looked over his shoulder and found Matthews tracing his spine with a long, tickling finger. He shivered at the finger's cold, gentle touch. What on earth are you doing? It isn't healthy to just lie around all day, so we might as well bring some action into the bed with us. Oh, god damn it. That actually wasn't in the story. Oh god damn it, that wasn't in the story, that was me. Matthews beamed mischievously. He then climbed on Lucas' back and straddled him. So how would you like me to do this, huh? Do you want last night's wild, mind-blowing, back-breaking... I'm just making sure that my mom isn't around, because I'd get soap shoved in my mouth if I said this word. Even though I've already said it a couple times in this fanfiction. Fucking, or do you want to start things off with gentle lovemaking and then we get to the hardcore stuff? Neither. Matthias, now get off. No. I'm serious. I know, and still no. Lucas began to wiggle his hips under Matthias to wrestle him off. Matthias, get off me right now. That feels nice, Matthias purred, unaffected by Lucas' movement. Oh, and no. Matthias. Yeah, my little kitten? Off. No. Lucas began to wiggle faster, causing the man above him to moan loudly. Matthias, cut it out. Get off, he ordered frantically. He doesn't know why he's getting panicky. He and Matthias go through this ridiculous game every time they slept together. So what on earth is making him so frightened now? Matthias chuckled and shuffled on Lucas so he could straddle his buttocks, leaning down afterwards to press his torso against Lucas's back. Sorry, babe, but there's a little issue going on that needs to be taken care of, he whispered in Lucas' ear. Lucas felt Matthias pressed his pelvis down further and gasped in surprise and disgust when he felt the throbbing hardness against his skin. No, damn it, Lucas snarled as he threw his head back against Matthias' face, which impelled Matthias to roll off Lucas. In retrospect, that was a good idea to avoid what could have been rape, but in the moment, Lucas regretted doing that, forgetting his hangover. God damn it, son of a fucking bitch, Lucas shrieked through gritted teeth as he clutched his pounding head. Tears began to gather at the corner of his eyes, and his body trembled in searing pain. His vision swam and made him feel dizzy and nauseous. Ow, dude, Matthias shouted from behind his hand. He clutched his bleeding nose and glared at Lucas. That hurts! Lucas only glared back with as much fury as his weakened state would allow. Oh my god, this fanfiction's long! I mean, I knew it was going to be long, but dang! The day was drawing into the afternoon, and the sun had set high among the pine and oak trees, renewing the sleeping exuberance of animals and plants that thrived among the tree. All five Nordics and Peter were standing in a wide clearing surrounded by the dense forest, but two of the gathering weren't watching and commenting on the picturesque trees and tree pillars. Lucas had his arms crossed over his chest and his locked on Matthias in an impatient glare while Matthias scribbled something on a clipboard and pressed buttons on a stopwatch. The Nordics were clad in light clothing for the sprint, with short black polyester shorts, durable running sneakers, and t-shirts designed to look like their respective flags. After writing on his clipboard and looking over it, Matthias looked at the group and smiled warmly. Hello, everyone. I'm glad to see that you guys came outside with me today. What are you talking about, Uncle Matthias? Peter said, removing his attention from the wildlife. You dragged us out of the dining room as soon as we finished eating breakfast and made us wear these stupid sportswear. Matthias looked at his interrupting nephew, smiling pleasantly to hide his irritation. Well, if you have a problem with that, Petey, then you can go back inside the mansion and enjoy some video games or something. You won't be needed in this race anyway. Race? We'll be having a race? Tino asked. He looked down at his clothes. Well, that would explain the outfits. He didn't notice the way Emil stared at him before slapping his face onto his hand or how Barrel smiled down at him with amusement. Yeah, we're having a race to see who's the fastest runner of the group, Lucas clarified for Tino. Apparently this is supposed to be Nordic brothers' bonding activity because simply going out for a movie or something would be too typical and tedious. He emphasized his sarcasm with an eye roll. A movie? That would have been nice, Tino pouted. I love the movies. You only love the movies because you and your hubby could fuck each other in the dark theater room, Emil muttered crabbily. Lucas smiled at him sympathetically. It was probably kept up by them, too. Wait a second, why wouldn't I be needed in this race? Peter wondered aloud. Because we already know you're the slowest of the bunch, Matthias stated as he casually glanced at the clipboard again, not really reading the content. Kids are always slower than adults. Peter scrunched up his reddening face. How the hell would you know that if you've never seen me run? Peter, stop swearing! Tino slapped Peter's shoulder. But Mama, Uncle Matthias is being a Danish jerk-off. Peter whined back as he rubbed his shoulder. But does that constitute a need to swear like a sailor? Peter looked down at his feet. No. That's right. Now go back to the mansion and stay in your room. Peter's eyes shot back in indignation. But Mama, I want to be in the race and show this Perky's wrong. That's too bad for you, Peter, because you will respect my and your uncle's decision. Now march. He pointed at the direction of the mansion. Peter hung his head and turned to the mansion's direction, swiftly kicking Matthias' knee before sprinting away. Standing still as if his knee wasn't just injured, Matthias smiled and groaned. That's some good parenting, Tino. Tino beamed proudly. Well, thank you. Matthias nodded and looked at the entire group. So as my lovely Lucas has stated, we're going to have an awesome race. The rules are pretty simple. Run around the forest, don't trip over branches and roots, and try to get back here in a little time. I'll be timing you guys with this doohickey and recording the time on the clipboard. The one who goes back the quickest, obviously, and because I'm such an ass who likes to keep people in suspension, I won't announce the times until everyone's finished. Also, I'm sorry that I keep using the same sprite expressions. I just don't have a lot of neutral expressions, and I'm using the ooh-woo sort of expression to space things out. Now, there's also a specific route to take, so I'll be marking the route with these. He crouched down and dug through a duffel bag that was next to his feet. He pulled out bright red flags with spiked ends and stuck one to the ground in front of him. This one's the start and finish point. Use these to guide you, okay? Any questions? I have one. Emil raised his hand. He then pointed at Matthias' face. What's up with the tissue wads up your nose? Matthias crossed his eyes to look at his nose. Both nostrils were stuffed with bloodied wads of tissue. Oh, this is nothing, he replied with a pointed glare at Lucas. Really? Are you sure? Because it's leaking really badly. It looks like it's time for a changing. Anyway, you guys stay here and I'll be right back. I'm going to put these up around the track. And with that, he left the other Nordics to put the flags into place as Tino started small prepping exercises like jogging in place while Burl watched him and tried not to laugh. And Matthias' back face vanished into the trees. Emil turned to Lucas and said quietly to him, Hey, Lucas? Lucas stared back at Emil, finally noticing the faint dark circles under his eyes. Wow, you look beat. Are you okay? Tch, so now you care about my sleep. Wish you were this considerate last night. Emil rapidly glared and crossed his arms. Lucas's eyes widened, but his mouth was still set in a still unaffected line. So it was us too. Ugh, never mind that, Emil said. I just have something to ask you. What? What's up with Matthias' nose? Did you do something to him? Lucas stared into the trees contemplatively. No, I didn't. You don't have to lie, Lucas, and besides, you can't. I heard you two this morning. You were shouting at him, and the bed was creaking a little bit, and Emil leaned closer to Lucas, lowering his voice to a barely audible whisper. Lucas, please be honest with me. Was he trying to rape? No! Lucas hissed. No, it wasn't like that at all. He was just being too affectionate, and it crossed into asshole. That's all. Oh, well, okay then, Emil said, but his eyes expressed his worry. Emil, it's okay, really, Lucas said with a small smile, reassured Emil enough to drop the subject completely and pop in his earbuds. Matthias returned 20 minutes later, the stopwatch swinging wildly around his neck as he jogged to the group, and the nose plugs gone from his nostrils. So, who's first? I'm guessing Tino, Beryl suggested. He smirked when Tino stuck his tongue out at him. Well, why else would you be doing all those exercises? Yes, I would like to go first, Tino confirmed, scrunching his nose in annoyance at Beryl. He stepped next to the flag and knelt down into the starting position, with both hands in front of him and one leg slightly behind the other. All right, Matthias set the stopwatch. On your marks? On your marks, okay. I almost read that wrong. Tino wiggled his back toes firmly into the grass. Get set? Tino raised his buttocks into the air. Go. And Tino took off. Determination and why did I almost read that wrong? Concentration hardening his facial features. He ran into the bend where the track made a turn and disappeared into the woods. In the quiet woods, the faint sounds of grass being crushed, twigs being broken, and animals being frightened by a potential charging predator rang out in the woods. Your husband sure likes to run, doesn't he? Lucas asked Harold. Harold smiled. He does so every time he gets some time off. If I can say, I think that if he wasn't a nation with such inhuman strength and agility, and that if his boss allowed it, Tino would have ran for his Olympics team. I can see that, Lucas chuckled. Soon Tino reappeared around the bend on the other side, and when his foot stomped next to the flag, Matthias pressed a button on the stopwatch. His eyebrows shot up in surprise. Wow, that was actually pretty good, he said to himself as he scribbled on the clipboard. My God, Lucy, shut up. I don't know if you guys can hear it, but my cat Lucy's whining. Who's up next? I guess I can go so I can get this over with, Burl spoke up. He switched places with the panting and doubled over Tino and copied Tino's starting position. His position was a bit sloppier than Tino's, with his hands and feet not as firmly planted or his body aligned correctly, but that didn't seem to matter when he ran on Matthias's calls. He sprinted into the trees, leaning his torso forward and pounding his feet heavily into the ground. Matthias sniffled. I bet he won't make a good time the way he's running slow. Hey, don't say that about my husband, Tino exclaimed when his breathing stabilized. He cupped his mouth and shouted into the forest. Go, Barry, go. You can win. It's Harold. Harold shouted back into the forestry, causing a cloud of birds to rise out of the trees to fright. Matthias laughed and kept his eyes fixed on the stopwatch. Harold emerged from the woods and stopped at the versatile flag. Matthias scowled to himself as he took down Harold's time. All right, who's next? Amel and Lucas looked at each other, beckoning to each other to go until Lucas resigned begrudgingly and stepped up to the flag. He leaned forward and placed on leg behind the other. He didn't want to put so much importance and effort into this ridiculous race, but he couldn't help that he was bouncing on his toes in anticipation. On your marks, get set, Gobbleberry. Lucas started but stopped abruptly, which caused him to trip and pitch forward into the ground. He looked over his shoulder at the grinning Dane as the others erupted in laughter. Matthias! He snarled as he stood up. Okay, Matthias snickered. He waved for Lucas to reposition himself before shouting, Go, Norch! Lucas took off with as much speed as he can gather, which was pretty decent in the other's eyes. He passed the first turn and came into the full throes of the trees. Everything flew by him in a blur, yet everything still managed to slow down enough for Lucas to take in the beauty of the forest in its entirety. He loved the way the sun shone full view in some parts, yet had to peek through small openings in treetops in other parts. It was beautiful how random spurts of flowers gave the forest subtle breaks in the repetitive yet still magnificent hues of green and brown. The cool air tickling Lucas' cheeks and the sounds of squirrels and birds resonating in his ears were peaceful. Lucas wanted to just stop and enjoy the scenery, but he remembered that he had a race to complete, so he pounded his feet faster into the ground. It seemed that Lucas was running in the route subconsciously because the next thing he knew, he was coming up to the other Nordics without seeing any flags in his run. He slowed at the last flag and returned to the others. Wow, Norris, you were pretty quick there, Matthews said as he recorded Lucas's time. Okay, and our final contestant, Emil Bodvig. Please step up. Emil sighed and rolled his eyes. He walked up to the flag and just stood there with his arms hanging at his side. He looked at Matthias impatiently. Well, you're not going to get into position, Matthias asked. Why would I? Well, to get better velocity in spores, I don't think you're going to get a good start by standing so straight. Dude, I don't even care about the race. Can you just start my time so I can go? Emil pressed the play button on his iPod. Okay, Matthias shrugged. He looked at the stopwatch. Go! Whoa! Matthias almost dropped his clipboard in surprise as Emil shot off in full speed. Within 10 seconds, or it almost took 30 seconds for the others, Emil was gone in the first bend, and that was just enough time for the other Nordics to capture what was like the snapshot of Emil's run. In this snapshot, Lucas, Tino, Beryl, and Matthias were able to see Emil's torso bent forward, his arms swinging methodically beside him. His slender legs rose up and shot down like jackhammers, and his toes pounded firmly into the grass. Not his heels, and sometimes not even the balls of his feet. He was sprinting forward on his toes as if he was floating. His flag-designed t-shirt bounced up and down on his abdomen, and his pale hair flew back from his face in airy wisps like feathers floating away in the wind. Everyone gaped after him, eyes wide and minds blown. Holy shit, Matthias breathed. My brother can run, Lucas thought. Wow, who would have thought? And what seemed like no time at all, Emil zoomed back into view of the other Nordics. When he stopped at the flag and pulled out his earbuds, he was immediately barraged by compliments and praises as they gathered around him. Oh my goodness, Emil, I never knew you were so speedy, Tino chimed in admiration. I mean, that was some quick running. How long have you done it? You're an incredible runner, Emil, Beryl said as he slapped Emil's shoulder. Seriously, Emil, how long have you been running, and do you have a special trainer or something? No, bro. That was... Wow, Lucas gasped. That was superb. Okay, one and all, back up, please, Matthews called as he waved everyone's away. Since Iris is finished, we can get the results out and call the winner. Let's see. He skimmed the clipboard. Now let's see what we have here. Tino, your time was 4 minutes, 32.8 seconds. Barry, bear rolled. You came up short at 4 minutes and 45.7 seconds. So close, but just not quite there. Lucas, you actually beat Tino with 3 minutes and 58.5 seconds, and Mel blew you all the way with a flat 2 friggin' minutes. Damn, man, what are you, the Flash? He found out Emil's simple shrug. Well, in any case, now to present you with the prize. Prize? There was a prize? Tino asked. He now regretted not running fast enough when he heard about the prize. Wait, where on earth did you find the time to get a prize? And why? I thought this race was impromptu. In due time, Norsh, and yep, Tino, here it is. Matthews dug in his shorts pocket and pulled out what looked like a wad of leather. When he unfolded it, everyone rolled their eyes. A dog collar? That was the prize, Burl droned sardonically. Well, it's actually a human-sized cat collar, and it has this really cool tag on the front. Matthews scratched the back of his neck. I actually had it made for Lucas because I thought he was going to win. Don't look at me like that, my Norwegian kitten. Mel shrugged again and took the collar and looked it over. He gasped at the tag. Oh, cool. Are these ice cubes made with real diamonds? Well, no, it would have been too expensive, so I just placed clear rhinestones in it instead. Sweet. Emil fastened the collar around his neck and adjusted the sides. This kicks ass. I can't wait for Kauru. Oh, I think they're talking about Hong Kong, 'cause I think some people refer to him with that name. See this. You look fantastic, Emil, Tino beamed. Do you really think so? Yeah, as ridiculous as a collar is, it's still pretty nice, Burl said. Everyone was gathered around Emil, congratulating him on winning the collar and praising his amazing running skills as they headed back to the mansion. Everyone except for Matthias, who had to stay behind to pick up the flags he placed. He packed up his stopwatch in the duffel bag and... Oh my God, Lucy! She's destroying my door. He packed up his stopwatch in the duffel bag and took another glance at the race results. So, Emil's the fastest runner, huh? Matthew smirked. Well, this new piece of info will be very helpful. God damn it, son of a bitch. I'm starting to regret saying that Emil's practically me in this fanfiction, because I have a feeling something's bad is going to happen to him. Please, no spoiler in the comics. I'm trying to read this blind. But yeah, that's chapter 3, and I'm dreading what's going to come next. Let's see you guys next time.